Hi everyone, so my name is Maddie Newald, and for my final project for MIS 473 on data visualization was I wanted to use the Chicago crime data set that we were provided, and I wanted to explore the most dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago. So going into this project, I really wanted to learn about the different districts and areas that had the most amount of crimes and kind of give it a visualization so people could understand which areas had the highest amount of specific crimes. So to do this, I picked out 3 different crimes, which we'll see later on, that I thought were kind of the most dangerous and had the most amount overall. And those are homicides, burglaries, and criminal sexual assaults. And to do that, I analyzed looking at the data sets as well as pulling it into Tableau and looking at it compared to other crimes. So moving into my first dashboard, I did this one on homicides, like I said. So this is homicides by district. So the first visualization, which is on the top, shows the top 5 districts that had the most amount of homicides from 2018 to 2021. So I only did 2018 to 2021 because the 2022 data was incomplete since it was pulled last spring, so it was only 1/4 of the year, which wouldn't be representative of the total amount of crimes, and it would kind of skew the data. So I decided to only do 2018 to 2021 to give us more of a complete view, and which would be representative for each one of these districts. So moving in, like I said, I have the top 5 districts here, and you can see the total amount. So the total amount for the top district, which was Harrison, District 11, had 356 total homicides from 2018 to 21. And this is broken down into each year. So we have 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. And that's the same for the other 4 on here as well. So if we click on just Harrison, we can see the trends also. So the little graph on the bottom just shows the homicide trends over the past 4 years for each one of those districts if you want to learn a little bit more. And as you can see, since 2018, it's been increasing. And you can see a huge spike from 2019 to 2020. And my theory for that is that's when the COVID pandemic hit. So for whatever reason, there's been an increase in homicides. We know there's already been an increase in overall crimes in Chicago in the past 4 years, but also from COVID, there's also been an increase. So that just shows it directly right there as well. And you can click on the other ones to get a little bit more information. So if we click on Gresham, there's also been an increase, especially a large increase from 2019 to 2020. And it's also continued to increase. And I'm sure if we had data from 2022 as well as the beginning of 2023, we would continue to see that increase. So if we unclick that, as I've said already, the Harrison District had the largest amount of homicides from 2018 to 2021 with 356. And also on this map gives you a little bit of a representation of where this is in location in Chicago, and each one of these red dots is a specific crime of when this happened. So if we zoom out a little bit, we can see where District 11 Harrison is located in the Chicagoland area. So you can see it's right by Oak Park and Cicero, and it shows a pretty good outline of the district actually. And if you zoom in, if you click one of these or you look over it, it says, there we go, the ID and then where it's located, and then District 11, which is where it is. And you can zoom in and it says a little bit of the neighborhoods, which we'll get into more further, the specific neighborhoods that are located in each one of these districts. So moving on, the next 2 dashboards are set up almost exactly like the first one. But they're breaking down burglaries and criminal sexual assaults. So I won't get too much into the how I set up each dashboard, but just the information that'll be showing in it. So again, this one shows the top 5 districts for burglaries in Chicagoland, and this one is Chicago-Lawn by a lot. Chicago-Lawn had a total of 3,016 burglaries from 2018 to 2021, and you can see that's significantly more than Gresham, South Chicago, Grand Crossing, and Town Hall. But in comparison to homicides, if we look, so we can even click just on Chicago-Lawn here, we can see a steady decline and also a larger drop-off from 2019 to 2020 in the amount of burglaries, which is interesting to me as well. I guess if people were out less during the COVID pandemic, this could be a reason into why less burglaries were happening, less people were out and about, which is interesting. And again, if you click on the other ones like Gresham, this one's a little bit more steady, but we've had a huge drop off in 2021, as well as South Chicago. You can see the trend line is trending downward, as well as Grand Crossing and as well as Town Hall. So that's a good sign that burglary has been decreasing from 2018 to 2021. And it'd be interesting to see the stats that are coming out from 2022 and to 2023. So again, in the little map, you can see which location it is, or kind of where it's located in the Chicagoland area. This is more of the south side. So like we've said before, there's areas that we've kind of already think of as being more dangerous in Chicago, and the South Side is definitely one of them. So the Chicago Lawn District is located in the South Side of Chicago. And if you zoom in, again, each one of these little blue dots is a specific crime that happened. This is actually Midway Airport, so if you want a little bit more relation into where you are, you got Burbank, which is part of the suburbs. And if you zoom in, again, it'll show you a little bit more of which neighborhoods, but we'll get into that. I made it a little bit easier so that way you guys can see. But we've got Marquette Manor right there. So yeah, let's move into criminal sexual assault. So here's the criminal sexual assault by district, and this one was super interesting. So when I was picking the top crimes that I wanted to do, I kept getting the same neighborhoods and the same districts like we talked about. We always talk about the west side of Chicago, you always talk about the south side, but people usually tend to think of the north side and the coast as being a lot more safe, but this proves otherwise. So for criminal sexual assaults, the top district was the near north side that had a total of 434 criminal sexual assaults from 2018 to 2021, followed by Harrison, Town Hall, South Chicago, and all districts that we've seen before in the past one. So they're here. But I was honestly really surprised to see the New York district as the one here. And of course, without further information, we can't make a conclusion into why that is. But one of the reasons I would just because there's more parties, more people around, so there might be more for people to be drunk doing things that they're not supposed to. If we click on just the near north, we can break the trends over the past years. It was pretty steady from 2018 to 2019, but you can see a large drop off in 2020 with a huge increase in 2021. Again, we can't ignore the COVID pandemic, and it would make sense for it to drop off as people were just out less and going to less parties. And if you click on Harrison as well, you can see a decrease in 2020, as well as Town Hall, South Chicago, as well as Gresham. So that is, again, with less people going out, that would mean there would be less people interacting to have sexual assaults occur. And just like I was saying, this is the north side. So if we click on north, you can see the location up here. Let me just pull over so you guys can see. But here we go. Let me zoom in. So this is Navy Pier down here, and the loop is actually right here. So you've got Mag Mile, the near north side, and all up here. So this is all higher income area, which we'll touch on in the next one. But it was just kind of surprising for me to find out this information through researching the data and creating these dashboards. So in my next one, I wanted to just kind of summarize the most dangerous neighborhoods based on the three major crime categories that I chose. So like we've said, the top one for burglaries was Chicago Lawn, the top one for homicides was Harrison, and the top one for criminal sexual assaults was the near north district. And when you're looking at these maps, they're almost identical to the maps that were in the previous ones, but I actually put an overlay of income on there like we were talking about. So the darker boxes that you see, like the darker areas, if you can see on the near north side, those indicate higher income areas, and the lighter ones actually indicate lower income. So if you zoom out on all of these, let me just click here, unclick that, boom. Okay, there we go, and let's zoom out here. You can actually see that, like I said, the near north district is located in a very high income area, which is surprising to me because trends that we've learned in the past is that in lower income areas, there tends to be more crime. But obviously, this isn't the fact for the near north district. But like I was saying, for Chicago Lawn and Harrison, those are both located in very low income areas in the Chicago area, so that would make more sense. And again, I have a list of a few of the notable neighborhoods that are located in each of these districts, just so you can have a further understanding. So some of the notable neighborhoods located in the Chicago Lawn district are Clearing, Glendale, West Lawn, Archer Limits, West Elsdon, Chicago Lawn, Garfield Manor, Archer Heights, Sleepy Hollow, Marquette Manor, Forest Hill, Ashburn, Clarksdale, and more. And then a few of the major ones in the Harrison district would be Humboldt Park, East Garfield Park, West Garfield Park, Moreland, Mandel, Central Park, and etc. And just for further kind of knowledge, this is more of the west side area and this is more of the south side. So we've got the west side of Chicago, which people talk about as being dangerous, as well as the south side, and then we've got kind of an outlier here with the near north. And a few of the neighborhoods that are noteworthy that are included in there is Lincoln Park, the Gold Coast, near north side, Belgravia Terrace, and Mag Mile. So moving on to my conclusion. So again, the most dangerous neighborhoods in Chicago, what are they? We talked about them. They're going to be located in the District Harrison, District Near North, and District Chicago Lawn, with their respective categories of crime. So in Harrison, there was a total of 364 homicides from 2018 to 2021. The Near North had 469 criminal sexual assaults, and Chicago Lawn had 3,145 burglaries. And the conclusion that I pulled, I mean, we've already touched on it before, but just to conclude things up, the neighborhoods in which the average overall income was lower experienced more frequent crimes involving homicides and burglaries, while the neighborhoods with higher average overall incomes experienced more frequent crimes involving criminal sexual assault. And another trend that we noticed throughout here is that the COVID pandemic had a huge impact in homicides, burglaries, and criminal sexual assaults, while decreasing it for some, while also increasing it for others. But yeah, so that's my presentation. I hope you guys liked it, and thank you.